The sky cracked open like shattered glass. People across the world looked up in horror as a huge black object came down from the clouds. It wasn't a meteor. It wasn't a satellite. It was something alive. News channels began to scream. Something has entered Earth's atmosphere. It's not responding to any signal. Prepare for emergency evacuation. In a small military base near Nevada, General Carter stood watching the radar screen. The object was heading straight for Earth's surface fast. Lock all missiles, ready interceptors. Don't wait for impact, he shouted. But when the jets flew close, all contact was lost. The pilots didn't crash, they just went silent. Their signals were cut like a switch had flipped. The object landed in a quiet desert. It didn't explode. It didn't roar. It simply touched the ground and stood still. Then the cameras zoomed in. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't a robot. It was a creature, 8 feet tall, covered in black and gray armor that looked like it had grown from its skin. Its arms were long, clawed. Its face was hidden behind a strange helmet made of bone and light. Everyone watching held their breath. Was it going to attack? Was it going to speak? It did nothing, just stood there. Breathing. The news spread across Earth in minutes. Unknown alien lifeform has landed. No communication, no violence, yet. The world waited. Hours passed. Then, the creature began to walk. It walked across the desert, step by heavy step without making a sound. No footprints, no damage. Just movement. General Carter spoke to his men. It's heading toward Phoenix. Set up a defense wall. Keep civilians back. By the time the creature reached the city's edge, the military had tanks, drones, and soldiers. Blocking every road, the alien stopped. Tilted its head slightly. Its helmet glowed faintly, then it walked away. Around the roadblock, peacefully. No one fired. Not a single shot. General Carter stared in confusion. Why didn't it push through, or fight, or speak? The creature kept walking through empty streets, over bridges, past cities. People watched. From windows, some filmed it with shaky hands. Others locked their doors and hid. But it never broke a window, never entered a house, never hurt anyone. A little boy named Malik saw it from his balcony. He waved. To everyone's shock, the creature paused and waved back. Just once. And then it kept moving. News spread again, even faster. The alien predator that doesn't attack. Social media exploded. Some called it a sign of peace. Others called it a trick. In orbit above Earth, alien eyes were watching. Inside a ship hidden behind the moon, a group of beings called the Zarn Collective held a meeting. He has landed, said one. But he's not hunting. He's not feeding. Why? Asked another. He is the Zarnox. The apex, the last of the prime killers. He exists to dominate. Why does he hesitate? The leader said, they watched the footage of the creature walking away from the human soldiers. This is not natural, one hissed. Perhaps he's broken. Or worse, he's learning. Back on Earth, scientists studied every move. At the Global Research Center, Dr. Lena Torres led the human team. His biology is alien, she said, watching the data stream. He doesn't emit radiation, no heat, no waste. It's like his body is made of living armor. Why doesn't he kill us? A young intern asked. Lena looked at the screen. I don't know. But he's watching us closely. That evening, the creature stopped near a village in Brazil. A crowd had gathered, held back by police tape and fear. A girl about 10 years old stepped through the tape. Her parents screamed, "No, come back!" But the girl walked up to the creature slowly, holding out a flower. "Hi," she whispered. "Are you lonely?" The creature bent down. Everyone froze. Soldiers raised their rifles, but the alien only looked at the flower, gently took it, and then opened a glowing panel in its chest. It placed the flower inside. The crowd gasped. Then the alien touched the girl's forehead. A soft light appeared. The girl blinked and said, "He says, we are not enemies." Chaos erupted. The alien stood tall again and walked away into the jungle. Within hours, the girl's story hit every screen. He spoke to me, not with words, but with feelings. He said, "Earth is not a hunt. You are not prey." The world changed in a moment, but the alien ships above Earth were not happy. The Zarn collective leader slammed his claws on the table. "He's malfunctioning. He must be destroyed before he spreads weakness." One of the generals growled, "Shall I send a strike team?" "Send 5. The next night, 5 armored alien warriors landed on Earth. Silent, deadly, invisible to radar. They found the Zarnox near a lake. Staring into the water. The lead warrior raised a plasma cannon and fired. The beam hit the Zarnox's back, but instead of falling, the Zarnox turned slowly. His armor shimmered, absorbing the energy. In the next second, the attackers were on the ground. But they weren't dead. Their weapons were crushed. Their arms were pinned by energy bands, made of light. The Zarnox stood above them. He opened his mouth, and for the first time a voice echoed, "I do not harm peace." Then he released them. The aliens scrambled back to their ship and vanished into the sky. That moment was broadcast worldwide. General Carter watched it on his screen, stunned. He let them go. He could have ended them. Dr. Lena whispered, "He made a choice." The world no longer feared the Zarnox. Now they wanted to understand him. Why did he choose not to kill? What did he mean by peace? Was he protecting something or someone? That night, Lena had a strange dream. She saw a city made of glass, floating in space, filled with humans. But they were older, stronger, evolved, and next to them stood many creatures like the Zarnox guarding them. When she woke, she rushed to her lab and dug into ancient human DNA, and what she found shook her to the core: a hidden code, a sequence no one had noticed before. Inside every human's blood was a genetic signature, a symbol, a mark of protection. Her hands trembled. She whispered, "We were protected before, long ago." The Zarnox was not here to destroy Earth. He was here because Earth had been marked long ago by his kind. And that mark said, "Do not harm sacred." In space, the Zarn collective screamed with rage. "He remembers. He's obeying old codes." But one alien whispered, "Or maybe he never forgot." The Zarnox continued walking. Across mountains, oceans, forests. He never spoke again, but he left a message everywhere he went. Not in words, in silence, in kindness, in choice. The world began to understand. He wasn't a weapon. He was a guardian. The alien council chamber floated in deep space, silent, cold, and full of fear. 12 beings from 12-star empires sat around a glowing circle. They were old, powerful. Each one had survived wars, extinctions, and galactic disasters. But now they all looked at the same screen in disbelief. A video played again and again. The Zarnox, the last and most feared apex predator, standing over a human child and doing nothing. "He didn't strike?" asked the insectoid delegate from Skirax Prime. "Worse," said the reptilian warlord from the Othean belt. "He protected her." Gasps and hisses filled the room. The Zarnox was built for one thing: extermination. "It is not supposed to feel," growled the armored lizard. The leader of the council, a glowing sphere of energy named Vorthan, spoke slowly. "We have known this creature for 10,000 cycles. It hunted the bloodworms of Kur. It crushed the Drazak rebellion. It even slaughtered its own creators. But now on Earth, it refuses to kill." "This is not evolution," snapped another delegate. "This is infection." Vorthan raised a tendril of light. "Then we must ask, what has infected it?" Silence fell across the stars. Every species was watching Earth, not because of the humans, but because of the one creature standing between them and destruction. A being who now acted differently. Back on Earth, Dr. Lena Torres was speaking into a camera, live streaming to every nation. The Zarnox, known in other galaxies as the Apex, has walked over 6,000 kilometers across our planet. Not one death, not one attack. He has interacted peacefully with humans, mostly children. People listened with mixed emotions. Some were inspired, some were terrified, and some wanted him gone. In Washington, D.C., President Morrow spoke with General Carter. "Is this a trap?" she asked. "Is he just waiting to strike?" General Carter rubbed his forehead. "I don't know. I've seen monsters. I've seen machines, but this thing, it's different." He waved at a kid general. "I know, and that's what scares me." At that moment, deep in orbit, a sleek alien ship uncloaked near Earth's moon. Its name was Shard of Judgment. Inside it were 10 of the galaxy's finest scientists and one warrior. The warrior's name was Vekshar, a warhound species bred to track and kill any target. "I want answers," said Vorthan's voice through the comms. "You will scan his mind, find the weakness, and bring him back or destroy him." Vekshar smiled, gladly. On Earth, the Zarnox had stopped walking. He stood on a cliff in Peru, looking over the ocean. He was still, always still, like a statue made of shadow and armor. But inside, something was changing. He felt something he hadn't felt in over 1,000,000 years. Memory. Images passed through his mind, images of fire, death, and then children, laughter, songs. He didn't understand. He didn't want to. That's when Vekshar's probe entered Earth's atmosphere. Invisible to radar, silent to sound, but not hidden from the Zarnox. The Apex turned his head, a shimmer. In the sky, he was being watched. He let it happen. Inside the alien probe, Vekshar activated the neural scanner. Engaging mind sync, prepare to pull his thoughts. But the moment the scan touched the Zarnox's mind, everything broke. Vekshar screamed. His ship shook violently. "Shut it down! Shut it down!" The tech shouted. But it was too late. Vekshar fell to his knees, eyes wide. What is this?" he whispered. He didn't see pain. He didn't see hunger. He saw loyalty, love. The Zarnox had not gone rogue. He had remembered. He had once been a guardian species assigned to protect a fragile young race born on a blue planet. The humans. Vekshar shook in terror. He was never our weapon. He was their shield. The probe self-destructed moments later, but the message had already been sent back to the Council. Vorthan screamed in pure light. "Shut down all records. Destroy every copy." "Why?" one delegate asked. "This could bring peace." Vorthan's voice turned cold. "If the galaxy learns that humans are protected, they will rise. And if the Zarnox has truly remembered, then we are already too late." Meanwhile, back on Earth, the skies darkened again, not from an alien ship but from a warning. Deep pulse shook the air. The Zarnox raised one claw and pointed toward the stars. Symbol appeared in the clouds, a warning glyph known only to ancient species. Dr. Lena stared at it on her screen. She translated it aloud. "Stay back. Earth is under protection." The media exploded. Was Earth safe now, or was war coming? Some cheered the aliens' message. Others panicked. Why would we need protection unless something worse is coming? A news anchor asked. The next day, the Council made their move. They sent a false message to Earth, claiming, "We wish to welcome the Zarnox back peacefully. We believe he is confused." But their plan was darker. They were sending a ship to capture him, or kill him. The ship entered Earth's atmosphere disguised as a meteor. It split into 5 smaller crafts and encircled the Zarnox, who stood still. On a beach in New Zealand. The commander of the capture team called out, "Return with us. Your mission is complete." The Zarnox turned his head slowly. "You lie. We only wish to help you." "No, you fear them," the Zarnox said, gesturing to the humans watching nearby. "We fear what you've become." The air grew colder. The sea froze. The Zarnak stepped forward. You are the past. They are the future. And then, with a pulse of silent energy, he vanished. The ship searched in panic. But he was gone. He had reappeared on the other side of the planet, far from their scanners. General Carter stared at the reports. He moved across the globe in a blink. That's not teleportation. That's memory access. He knows this planet better than we do. Dr. Lena nodded. Because he's been here before. What are you saying, Doctor? I think the Zarnox was here thousands of years ago. Maybe even before humans could write. He wasn't a killer then. He was a watcher. The general frowned. Then who gave the order to make him into a weapon? Lena paused. Maybe he let them. To protect us. They both sat in silence. Then General Carter stood. If he's remembering who he was, we better pray it's someone who still wants us alive. That night, satellites picked up a signal from beneath the ocean. Deep, hidden, old. The Zarnox was there, standing before a metal door, rusted by time. He raised his hand and the ocean parted. He stepped inside. The cameras followed as far as they could. Inside the structure were carvings, images of humans, and Zarnox walking together, protectors and children, guardians and dreamers. And at the very end of the hall was a glowing sphere. The Zarnox touched it. The room came to life. The sphere played an ancient message in an unknown language, but the meaning was clear. Earth is sacred. Protect it. Even from ourselves. The sphere faded. The Zarnox stood silent. His eyes glowed. Above Earth, the Council's ship armed its weapons. But before they could fire, something else appeared. Dozens of signals. Not from humans. Not from the Council. From deep space. Other creatures. Like the Zarnox, long hidden. Long silent. They were waking up. One by one, they sent the same message to the stars. Earth is under protection. Approach at your own risk. The world had stopped holding its breath. People no longer asked if the alien predator would attack. They now asked why it never had. The alien creature called the Zarnox had walked across continents, past cities, and stood beside humans. But never harmed anyone. It didn't speak. It didn't fight. But it was watching. Always watching. Some called it a guardian. Others feared it was only waiting for the right time. But one group of humans decided it was time to stop guessing and start talking. In a quiet research station hidden in the Colorado mountains, Dr. Lena Torres stood before a small team of scientists, soldiers, and translators. She tapped on the screen behind her. We've seen him ignore weapons, she said. We've seen him protect children. We even saw him wave. That means he understands us, or at least tries to. A young linguist raised his hand. But he doesn't speak, right? Not in sound, Lena replied. But light, gestures. And energy? He's speaking in ways we've never truly measured. General Carter stepped forward. Do you really think this thing will just answer our questions? Lena looked out the window. In the distance, a camera feed showed the Zarnox standing still again on a snowy mountain ledge. His body unmoving, his face hidden beneath a bony helm that shimmered with quiet blue light. I don't know, she admitted. But we have to try. 3 days later, the plan was ready. A quiet clearing was chosen in Utah. No soldiers, no weapons. Just a child-sized robot and a group of scientists hiding behind drones and rocks far away. The robot looked like a child. Not human exactly, but gentle. Its voice was soft. Its hands small. It walked into the clearing alone. The Zarnox stood at the edge of the woods, watching. The robot stopped and raised a hand. Hello, it said. I want to talk. Nothing. The Zarnox didn't move. The robot tried again. I am not afraid of you. I think you're not a monster. Silence. Then, the alien's chest began to glow. Just a single soft pulse of white-blue light. Like a heartbeat, the robot stepped forward. You've been walking for many days. Are you searching for something? Another pulse. Brighter. Then, the air shimmered. Dr. Lena gasped. Look. Look at the ground. A perfect circle of symbols appeared around the robot, glowing with blue lines. Lena whispered, "He's answering." The robot paused. "I don't understand these symbols. Can you show me what they mean?" The Zarnox raised one claw slowly and drew a symbol in the air. It hung there, glowing like fireflies, then another dot and another. The team scrambled to decode them. Lena stared at the shapes. "They're not words," she said. "They're feelings." One symbol meant pain. Another meant war. Another dash memory. The final one, peace. The robot's voice was softer now. "You don't want war?" The Zarnox finally moved. He nodded. The robot stepped closer. "But they made you fight, didn't they?" The Zarnox reached out and touched the robot's chest. Everyone froze. Lena held her breath. The robot's sensors lit up. A stream of data surged into its system. Then, an image. It appeared on the lab's main screen. A memory. A planet with golden skies. Children, alien and human looking, playing together under the light of twin suns. And the Zarnox standing guard beside them. No weapons. No claws. Just standing, watching, protecting. Lena whispered, "He was one of their guardians, a protector." The memory changed. Screams, fire, ships in the sky. An invasion. The children ran. And the Zarnox fought alone. One after another. More Zarnox appeared, each falling in battle as they protected the children. The scene ended with a young child holding the Zarnox's hand, whispering something. Then the light faded. The team sat in silence. "He's not just an alien," said Lena. "He's a survivor, General." Carter's voice broke the silence. "What happened to the others?" "They were wiped out," Lena said. "Maybe by the Council. Maybe by something else. He's the last." The Zarnox stepped away from the robot, then looked up at the drone camera at them. He opened his mouth and spoke, not in words, but in pure thought. Everyone in the room heard it in their heads. "You are their echo, their future. I failed before. I will not fail again." The connection snapped. Lena's eyes widened. He thinks we're their children, their descendants. He sees humans as sacred," Carter said slowly. "Not prey, legacy." Just then, alarms blared in the base. One of the alien species, the Dravari, had launched a stealth probe into Earth's atmosphere. It wasn't peaceful. It was armed. Lena and Carter rushed to the control room. "They're coming for him again," the technician said. "Same plan. Trap him, kill him, end the experiment." Carter growled. "He just showed us the truth. Now they want to bury it." The alien ship fired a beam toward the Zarnox's position, but this time, he didn't wait. He vanished, reappeared behind the ship in the blink of an eye, and crushed it with a wave of energy that looked like frozen lightning. The pieces fell like dust. No one inside survived. Back at the research base, Lena stared at the screens. No hesitation, no mercy. Carter looked at her. "Do you think he's changing?" "No," Lena said. "I think he's remembering." That night, the robot, the same one used for the communication test, walked into the Zarnox's camp again. It carried a single question, programmed by Lena. "What do you want?" The Zarnox touched the robot again. A new memory appeared on the screen. A city of peace, built by humans and Zarnox together. No weapons, no armies. Just creation. Then the message flashed in bold light. "I want what was promised." The galaxy was afraid. They called him the last apex, a relic of ancient wars, a beast made to destroy anything that moved. And now he walked with humans. To some alien empires. That was terrifying. To others, it was unacceptable. Deep inside, a hidden base on the cold moon of Vector. 5 generals from 5 hostile species stood in a dark chamber. "The council delays," growled the insectoid commander Zrin. They fear the truth. But we act. A tall shadow stepped forward. Skin like obsidian glass. Voice sharp like broken stone. We send the kill team, 5 of our best. They strike fast. No mercy. No witnesses. One general hesitated. What if it's true? What if the Apex remembers his old code? Zrin hissed. Then we erase the code, along with the humans he protects. The vote was quick. Unanimous. The mission: enter Earth. Eliminate the Zarnoks. Silence any humans who've made contact. Far away on Earth, the Zarnok stood in a quiet meadow in Scotland. He had not moved for 3 days. Children had drawn pictures beside him. Farmers left food at his feet, unsure if he ate. He accepted nothing but. Destroyed nothing. Dr. Lena Torres watched from the surveillance drone above. He's waiting, she whispered. He knows something's coming. General Carter sat beside her. 5 alien warships just left Vector. No clearance, no flight path. You think they're heading here? Lena nodded. He thinks so too. The kill team landed just after midnight. No sonic booms, no signals. Just a shimmer in the night sky, and then 5 shadows appeared in the forest around the Zarnoks. They came from different species, but they were all trained for one thing: killing anything. Even each other. Their plan was simple. Split, surround, strike, no sound, no warning. The Zarnok still hadn't moved. The lead assassin, a 6-limbed creature with cloaked armor, crept close. He raised his blade, one designed to pierce even neutron core armor. But as he lunged, he froze in the air. Literally. Time stopped. His body hovered, unable to move. His mind screamed, but no sound escaped. From behind him, the air shimmered. The Zarnok stood there, not the silent guardian, but the weapon. Eyes glowing white. Armor shifting. Energy pulsing. One by one. The other 4 assassins appeared, forced out of stealth by the same energy wave. They tried to fight. One fired a plasma beam. Another hurled a black hole grenade. But nothing hit. Everything froze mid-air. The Zarnok stepped forward, untouched by the chaos. He raised a single finger. The weapons dropped. Unarmed. Their bodies fell but alive. No blood. No death. Just defeat. A deep, powerful voice filled the forest. Not shouted. Just felt. You fight because you are afraid. I do not blame you. But I will not let you harm them. From far away, Lena and Carter watched the feed. They're still alive? Carter asked. Lena's eyes were wide. He didn't kill them. Just disarmed them. Shut them down like machines. Carter frowned. That's power. Lena whispered, no, that's control. The alien empires who had sent the assassins went quiet. They expected to lose a team, but they didn't expect the message that came back. A capsule dropped into orbit. Inside, the 5 assassins alive, unharmed. And with them, a warning etched into steel. This form does not destroy peace. The message caused panic. Some called for retreat. Others called for total war. But no one dared make the next move. Except one. In a lonely prison moon called Ras 7. A creature opened its eyes. It was old. Scarred. Forgotten. It had once been like the Zarnok's a guardian, but unlike him, it had turned savage. Lost control. Slaughtered everything in its path. The council had locked it away. Deep underground, buried in chains made of gravity and pain. But now, it heard the whispers. The Zarnoks walks again. The humans rise. The old order remembers, and the broken creature laughed. Back on Earth, Dr. Lena gave a speech to the United Nations. The Zarnoks had every reason to kill them. He didn't. That's not weakness, that's choice. Some leaders listened. Others doubted. A general from a European nation stood and asked, what happens when he changes his mind? Lena answered, then we remind him why he made the promise in the first place. General Carter added, he's not the weapon. He's the wall. The next morning, The world woke to a message broadcast on every screen, in every language. Even in the minds of those without tech. A voice. I was built to protect. I became a weapon. That I forgot. Now I remember. Let no more blood be spilled on this soil. Earth is not prey. Earth is not a battlefield. Earth is sacred. Some cried. Some cheered. And somewhere, across the galaxy, a warlord screamed in rage, because now the apex had spoken. But not everyone believed the war was over. A new fleet was forming, bigger than any before, not to destroy Earth, but to destroy the memory of what Earth meant. The ancient mark of protection was feared by empires. And if humans were truly the legacy of that protected race, then the whole balance of power would shift. That could not be allowed. In secret, the Council began construction of a new weapon, a mind-erasing device, something that would erase Earth from galactic memory, destroy not the planet but the idea of it. Meanwhile, the Zarnox stood atop Mount Fuji. He did not move, but something deep in Earth did. Old systems woke. Ancient machines buried beneath the crust began to hum. The world itself began to respond to him. Not with fear, but with purpose. The time for hiding was ending. Final line. They tried to kill the apex to silence the truth. But the truth had already walked among them, and he was just getting started. The wind howled across Antarctica, sharp, cold, and endless. Beneath layers of ice and snow, a group of researchers dug deeper than anyone ever had. What they found should not have been there. Dr. Mira Lane brushed ice off a strange, metallic surface. This isn't a rock, she said, staring at the glowing lines beneath her gloves. It's built. The team had been following strange magnetic signals. Signals that started after the Zarnox walked across South America. Now they stood before a massive, frozen doorway, completely alien. Miles away, the Zarnox raised his head. He had felt it. The past was waking. In Geneva, Dr. Lena Torres watched the footage from the Antarctic dig site. This is what he's been waiting for, she said. Not just to protect us, but to reveal something. General Carter crossed his arms. And what exactly is hidden under miles of ancient ice? Lena didn't look away from the screen. The truth. At the dig site, Mira's team used a thermal drill to open the strange door. The moment it cracked open, a wave of warm air pushed out. But it wasn't natural warmth. It felt alive. The walls inside were covered in glowing symbols, some matching the ones the Zarnox had drawn in the air days ago. Mira turned to the camera. Send a message to Dr. Lena. We need her here now. 3 days later, Lena and Carter arrived at the site. The entrance had widened, and inside was something no one could have imagined. A statue. 10 meters tall, shaped exactly like the Zarnox, but older. Smoother. Made of gold and crystal, not armor and bone. In its hand was a human child, carved from glowing white stone. Lena stared at it, breathless. He's not the first. Carter stepped closer. This isn't a weapon. This is a memory. Suddenly, a hidden panel on the wall blinked to life. A soft hum echoed through the cave. Then, a light formed in midair, a projection. A voice filled the chamber, calm, ancient. If you are hearing this, then the Guardians have returned. The bloodline has awakened, Lena whispered. It's a message. Left here, thousands of years ago. The voice continued. We were the keepers of Earth's first children, not the strongest, not the fastest, but the most full of hope. The image changed. Scenes appeared of humans, primitive but intelligent, learning, building, dreaming. Beside them were tall beings like the Zarnox, watching, guiding, protecting. The voice returned. But the stars grew jealous. War came. We, hid the truth beneath your feet. One guardian remained, hidden in sleep, waiting for the signal to return. Lena's voice cracked. The Zarnox. The message ended with a single phrase glowing across the wall. Guardians shall rise when humanity remembers who they are. Back on the surface, an alert flashed on the main terminal. Movement. The Zarnox was coming. He had crossed oceans in hours. He was now in Antarctica. Lena stood outside as snow whipped around her. A dark shape emerged from the blizzard, tall, silent, powerful. The Zarnox stopped in front of her. Behind them, the doors to the hidden chamber opened wider, as if welcoming him. He looked at Lena. No words were needed. He remembered this place. Inside, the Zarnox walked to the statue and placed his hand on its chest. The statue glowed, then cracked open. Inside it was not a weapon. It was a sphere, small, white, smooth. The Zarnox lifted it carefully. A soft hum filled the cave. Suddenly, every satellite across Earth picked up the signal. Alien languages translated instantly. It spoke one word: protected. In space, the council panicked. "This is a signal from the past," said one. "A Guardian code, not seen in thousands of years." Another hissed, "Earth is now registered as a sacred world. No species may invade, no species may claim." Vorthen, the glowing leader, snarled, "Then we erase the code." And Earth. But deep inside their memory banks, something else stirred. Earth's protection signal had a key, and that key was only held by one living being, the Zarnox. Back at the research site, Carter looked around the chamber. "So, Earth had Guardians long before our history books began?" Lena nodded. "And maybe we were never meant to fight alone." Carter shook his head. "You think this changes anything?" Lena looked him in the eye. "It changes everything." Suddenly, the ground shook. Explosions echoed in the distance. A missile had hit the mountain. Carter grabbed his radio. "Incoming!" "Who fired?" No one answered, because it wasn't from Earth. 5. Alien ships appeared in the sky above Antarctica, stealth ships from the Council. Ignoring every rule, they had come to destroy the chamber. To destroy the proof. Lena screamed, "They're targeting the site!" The Zarnox stepped forward, holding the glowing sphere in one hand. Then he lifted his other hand to the sky. The clouds turned black. Lightning split the heavens, and something ancient responded from beneath the ice. A second shape rose behind the mountains. Another Guardian, hidden, sleeping, now awake. The sky filled with light as the alien ships opened fire, but their weapons stopped, mid-air, frozen by a barrier around the site. The second Guardian stepped beside the Xarnox. Lena looked up. "He's not alone anymore," Carter whispered. "What did we wake up?" The two Guardians raised their hands. No lasers, no bombs. Just a pulse of energy so strong that time itself seemed to slow. The alien ships blinked out of the sky. Gone. No fire. No wreckage. Just silence. That night, the message broadcast again. Not from Earth. From the Guardians. To every planet, every station, every star. Earth remembers. The Guardians return. Stand down. Some listened, some fled, and some prepared for war. In a dark chamber, Vorthen roared, "They woke another one. We can't stop them if more rise." But the others in the council looked afraid, because they knew the truth. The Guardians had been made for one purpose. To stop the galaxy from repeating its greatest mistake. And that mistake was underestimating Earth. Back on the mountain, Lena and Carter stood beside the Zarnox. "What happens now?" Carter asked. Lena looked up at the stars. "I think this is only the beginning." Final line. The truth had been buried beneath the ice, but now it walked again with fire in its hands and earth in its heart. The sky was calm when the first ships appeared, slow at first, silent, like ghosts, but soon, hundreds of vessels formed a dark cloud above Earth. They belonged to the Galactic Council, the same rulers who had sent kill teams and hidden the truth. For centuries, Earth satellites tracked the incoming fleet. General Carter stood in the command center, fists clenched. "This is bigger than anything we've ever seen," he said. "Our weapons won't stop them all." Dr. Lena Torres looked at the radar, calm but focused. "They fear the Guardians," she said. "This is their last chance to destroy Earth's protectors." The president's voice came over the comms. "We must unite. No more divisions. This is a fight for survival." In space, the Council's leader Vorthan watched Earth's defenses grow. "Send the message," he ordered. The fleet opened communications. "Surrender the Zarnoks. Surrender the humans. End this rebellion." The reply was simple. A single broadcast from the Zarnoks' chamber in Antarctica. "Earth is protected. We will not surrender." The fleet bristled with weapons. On Earth, cities prepared for battle. Missile silos opened. Jets scrambled. Tanks rolled into position. But the Zarnok stood apart from the chaos. He walked into the center of a vast energy. Circle etched in the ground, a symbol of ancient guardianship. His armor glowed. The ground HUMMED. Suddenly, beams of light shot up from the circle. A shield formed around the planet, a shimmering dome of energy. The fleet fired. Lasers, plasma, and missiles crashed against the shield. But nothing broke through. The Council's warships roared. "Bring down the shield!" Vorthan shouted. But every attack only made the shield stronger. Inside the command center, Carter turned to Lena. "What is that?" "The Guardian's power," she said. "It's responding to the Zarnoks' call. Earth itself is fighting back." Outside, millions watched as the battle raged above. Children hid in basements. Families held hands. Prayers were whispered. Suddenly, the Zarnoks raised his hand. A pulse of energy shot toward the fleet. Ships began to shake. Engines failed. Weapons jammed. One by one, the warships dropped from the sky, disabled, but not destroyed. Vorthan's face twisted in fury. "This is impossible," he screamed. The Zarnoks' voice echoed across the planet, calm, powerful, unyielding. "This war will end. Not with death, but with truth." The fleet retreated, broken but not defeated. Earth had won this battle. But the war was far from over. In a secret council chamber, whispers filled the air. "They cannot hold forever." One said, "We must find the key to destroy the Guardians." Another added. Vorthan nodded slowly. "The humans hold the key. Find it." Back on Earth, Lena and Carter looked at the sky. "The galaxy is still coming," Lena said. "But now we're ready." The Zarnok stood beside them. Silent. A reminder. Final line. The fleet had come to destroy Earth, but they left knowing one truth. The Guardians would never fall. The war had paused, but the threat was far from over. General Carter stood in the war room, eyes sharp. "We stopped the fleet, but they're planning their next move." Dr. Lena Torres nodded. "They're searching for a secret, a weapon hidden inside humans." "Inside humans?" Carter frowned. "What kind of weapon?" Lena looked at the data. "There's a gene, a code in our DNA that connects us to the Guardians." "Genetic memory?" Carter asked. "Exactly. It's why the Zarnoks recognizes us. Why the Guardians protect Earth." Meanwhile, across Earth, strange changes began. People reported strange dreams. Visions of ancient battles, glowing symbols, and alien creatures. In a small town in Arizona, a teenager named Maya woke with a start. She could see glowing runes in her hands. She didn't understand, but she knew something had changed. Back in the command center, Lena and Carter monitored the rising energy. "These changes are spreading fast," Lena said. "Could Maya be one of many?" Carter asked. "Yes. The Guardian's legacy is awakening." The Council sent spies to Earth, disguised as humans. They searched for those touched by the legacy, but the humans fought back. Not with weapons. With memories. Maya found herself in a secret meeting. People like her awake, connected and ready. They called themselves the Awakened. "We carry the Guardian's power," Maya said. "But what do we do with it?" A voice answered from the crowd. "We protect Earth. We stop the invaders." We remind the galaxy humans are not weak. In space, the council grew desperate. The humans' power grows. Vorthan said, "We must act now before they become unstoppable." Back on Earth, the Zarnak stood with the awakened. He bowed his head. "You carry the future." Maya stepped forward. "What must we do?" "Protect Earth," the Zarnak said. "And remember who you are." Final line. The galaxy thought humans were powerless, but now their greatest weapon was awakening from within. The stars burned bright, but the galaxy stood on edge. Every empire, every species, every leader now faced the same truth. Earth had awakened. Humans, once seen as primitive, now walked with guardians, and worse. They had begun to remember, not just who they were, but what they were. In the council core world, Vorthan stood before the greatest army ever assembled. Millions of ships, endless weapons, ancient titans pulled from time itself. "This is not conquest," he said. "This is survival." He raised a glowing shard, the weapon that erases memory. Once fired, Earth's history, their legacy, their guardians will vanish forever. The fleet launched. On Earth, the sky changed. The shield around the planet shimmered, reacting to the incoming threat. The Zarnak stood at the top of a mountain, eyes glowing like stars. He spoke a single word, "Now around." The world, the awakened, felt it. Maya stood in the desert. Her hands pulsed with energy. Others rose in cities, forests, even under oceans. They had changed. No longer afraid. No longer alone. In Antarctica, Dr. Lena activated the ancient beacon found deep beneath the ice. The mountain cracked. 10 more guardians rose tall, glowing, powerful. Earth had hidden them for ages. Now they answered the call. Council fleet arrived. A black wall stretching across space. Vor then prepared the memory-erasing weapon. One shot, one blast. And everything Earth stood for would disappear. Before he could fire, the stars flickered. Across the galaxy, ships from other species began to arrive, not as enemies, but as allies. Whispers had spread, stories of the Guardians, tales of Earth's kindness, of their courage, of a predator who refused to kill, and more species chose peace. The council panicked. "Too many," cried a commander. "We're outnumbered," Vorthan screamed. "Fire the weapon." But something moved behind them. A new figure stepped forward, dark armor, white eyes, a second Zarnox. "You are the past," it said. The weapon shattered in Vorthan's hands. The council's fleet was surrounded. Earth stood in silence. The Zarnox raised his hand. A signal was sent. No attack. No destruction. Just a memory. Across space, every screen showed the same vision. Children, alien and human, building together, guardians standing beside them. Peace. Hope. A better future. Some ships surrendered, some fled, and some simply watched because they understood. The humans were not invaders. They were the next chapter. Back on Earth, the sky cleared. The guardians stood down. Maya looked up. "They were never protecting us from the galaxy," she said softly. "They were protecting the galaxy from what we might become if we forget who we are." Dr. Lena smiled. "And now we remember." Final line. The galaxy came to end the Guardians, but instead, it witnessed the rise of something greater: humanity.